2 decades we protected and served. Now we rule these streets.
Dad, my seat's wobbly.
Yeah, that's because I added it last night, and the light wasn't too good, but... Hey, listen, if we get separated, just meet back at the house, all right? You're gonna be good.
3, 2, 1, go! Enjoy the bushes, Goody! On the right! Oh! Look out! Yeah, baby! I win!
Find your seat. Take your seat.
Wow.
Get ready.
Hey, everybody. Nice to see you guys. All right.
Guys, thanks so much for being here. Congratulations
Thanks.
on the show.
Thanks for having us. We're very excited. Tonight's our big night. We're excited to bring it to the world.
CBS 8:30, right?
CBS 8:30 after Big Bang. So yeah.
That's quite a lead-in.
It really is. We were very fortunate to get that. So I'm pumped up, man.
Now, what we just saw there, that clip of you guys sort of go-kart racing, would you call that go-karts?
I don't know what you would call that. We kind of built those things, and they didn't run that great, right? They were kind of dangerous. But
some were fast, some were slow, some were...
Yeah, we took over a street in Levittown, Long Island, and we just went at it.
And would you consider that kind of like a wish fulfillment for you when you get a show like this? Like, well, one thing we're going to do in the pilot, I'm going to get cars to drive around.
Anytime you're working and you're playing in go-karts, that is wish fulfillment for me. I mean, that pretty much is it. If you can go out and that is your day job, driving go-karts with these nuts, it was pretty good.
Did you actually win the race when you drove the go-karts around, or was that?
Well, that was it. That was the last. I write it because I had control over that, so they knew they were going to lose.
It's true.
But no, yes, we won. Those things were very scary to ride, right? Weren't they?
Pretty scary.
Yeah.
The show takes place in Long Island,
Yes.
and we saw that in Long Island, and you actually have the studios in Long Island too. Is that
On
correct?
Long Island.
On Long
Everybody
Island.
says that. See,
Right.
in Long Island.
In Manhattan.
On Long Island.
On Long
Yes. Yes. It's Gold Coast Studios on Long Island. That's where we shoot it. So I wanted it to be really authentic and really have that Long Island feel and make Long Island a character in the show, and try to just bring it in every way we can with exterior shots, going out to places, wherever we shoot. And we started in the pilot by shooting in Levittown, Long Island. And it's exciting because all the crowds and everybody they've never had episodic TV there on Long Island. So we're happy to bring that to them, and the crowds have been great.
And it kind of breaks rules for a sitcom to be shooting there in a studio and shooting out in the exteriors. They're usually with a sitcom, studios in LA, right? And you get some sort of photograph exteriors of an apartment building.
For the King of Queens, that's what we had, and it was frustrating to me. It was always like these just exterior shots of like Shea Stadium or something. And that's when I finally said, when we did an episode, I wrote to go to Shea Stadium. I said, we're going to Shea Stadium. And like, we don't have to. We can just kind of make it look like Shea here. And I said, no, it won't feel like that. So we shot an episode at Shea Stadium. But now I want to be able to do that all the time here on Long Island with this.
Wait, you say Shea Stadium. I was, spying on your Twitter feed earlier today because I do my research, not because I'm weird.
Nice.
Not because I'm weird. And it looked like you hit a home run in batting. Did you really actually hit that out of the park?
I actually caught one. It was the last pitch of the day for me, and I was very sore. But I took Kevin Plawecki's bat. He gave me a bat, and it was a little lighter. It was a perfect bat, and it was a good pitch, and I hit it out of the park. I did. So
you hit a home run in Shea Stadium. That's
not
amazing.
Shea, City Field.
Yeah.
City Field.
I did one at Shea too.
Stadium
But
doesn't
City
even-
Field, yes,
Shea
thanks.
Stadium
A
doesn't
home
exist
run.
anymore.
A home run. I think I deserve a bigger clap for a home run. That is the level. That's the level. That's the level I needed right there. Yes. But thank you. It's not that big a deal. One more time. One more time.
You have an amazing cast as your family, but you also have an amazing cast as your friends here. Let's talk about how you cast these guys. How'd it go?
With Leonard, Leonard was the first guy. that I was working with him on a movie I have coming out for Netflix. We did a movie called True Memoirs of an International Assassin, which is coming out
in which
November.
he kicks butt.
Oh, yeah, it's a fun movie. It's a different movie for us. And I just started working with him. He got along real great, and he was fantastic. And I thought, man, he's so funny, and he can be great in this role. And so I picked him up from there. Chris Roach is a Long Island homegrown comedian who I had seen, and I knew was funny. And we went out to watch him at a comedy club on Long Island, and that confirmed it. He was great. This guy, I don't know, my brother. No, Gary, it's always fun.
Seen him on his appearances on Chelsea lately, and you're like, I like that guy.
Yeah,
Let's
I
get
saw that
him.
guy in Chelsea lately, and I was like, all right, he's all right. He's different. I like that. So, and he looks like he could play my brother. So I brought him in. And then Lenny, I've always been a fan. I've watched him, and he made me, this guy just fits the New York mold so well. And it's just so funny.
New York face.
Well, I'm from a small town in Iowa, and I think they wanted some outside, influence. So I learned, I lived among New Yorkers, and I ate like them, and I studied them, and I.
By the way, it's not Iowa. It's Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah.
Were.
How important is it for you when you're casting a show like this, where you guys are going to be working together day in and day out, that you're casting people that are not only funny, but then can kind of quickly become family offset as well?
Excellent question, because in the good fortune of a show going on for years and years, you spend probably more time with them than you do your actual family because of the amount of hours on set. So you want to surround yourself with people that are actually kind of fun and you get along with and enjoy. And but they have to be talented. They have to be able to do it too. So that's the tricky part.
Outside of Gary being your brother and you knowing that you can spend time with him, is there a sort of test, or is it just a conversation that you have with these guys to make sure that you can?
Well, that's the nice thing. We got a shorthand, me and Gary, and and now all the other comics and I do. We all have kind of a shorthand where you learn everybody and you learn what we kind of do, and it's a give and take when you're on the stage there. So it's a nice rhythm that you got to kind of find, and usually it takes a long time. But these guys he's a great actor, and these guys have been great. They're all great actors and they're great comedians, and there's a rhythm we found pretty much immediately, which is nice. So it feels like these guys are really friends of yours for years. So it was a good fit.
People always ask when it comes to comedy movies how much improv there was on set. I feel like I never hear anybody ask about that when it comes to sitcoms, because the laugh track is there. It's assumed that everything is tightly scripted. But when you have a cast like this, really funny, really great actors, do you guys improvise at all?
You can't. It's not like improvising where you're doing single camera, where you're just out and you can kind of say, okay, here's our beginning, here's our end. However you get there, it doesn't matter. Because you have so many actors coming in and out of scenes, and you have a certain amount of time to get there, you really have to set these lines up pretty much. They got to be written. That being said, these guys are all talented guys, so when they come up with something and say, hey, can they say this or do this, and it's 10 times funnier than what we wrote, we take it right away. We'll throw it in there and we'll try it. And there's different takes, second takes, third takes in front of an audience where you just try different stuff. And usually find your best stuff that way.
It's been, almost 10 years, Kevin, right? Since King of Queens?
Yeah.
King of Queens ended?
Oh. Thank you.
That's nice. No one had to ask for the applause this time. You guys just actually did it. You got the cue.
That's only when you hit home runs. You gotta pull it out of them.
Home run applause again, guys?
Home run, yeah. That's right. There you go.
So, almost 10 years with King of Queens and now 10 years no King of Queens. What brought you back? And how far did you want to stray from what people know of you on TV? And how similar did you want to be?
That's always the trick. That's the trick, by the way, in my career. My career is... half your audience wants to see you in familiar things where they know you. It's a comfort for them to see you doing things that you've kind of done before in a funny way. And the other half of your audience wants to see you do something different. So it's always a challenge. If I go too different, I start losing them. And if I don't, do enough of the same, I lose the other people. So it's like throwing at your net. You can only catch so many people. You try to keep it as wide as possible. So I think this show, I waited for like a perfect blend of, it's familiar in a classic sense, I think, of the sitcom that I love, the 4-camera shoots, and I just love the feeling of it. It makes me feel comfortable. I know it's a sitcom that everybody can watch and enjoy, but you know, the situation. I've never had kids before in a show, and I've got different friends and actors, and you know, a different wife in this one, and she's fantastic. Erin Hayes, Emmy-nominated Erin Hayes.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Incredible.
Loved her in
She's,
Children's
yeah,
Hospital.
she's amazing. So yeah, and the kids are great, and yeah, it's just Erin Hayes hit a home run. Let me hear it now.
She did.
That's the applause you want to hear.
That's that first clap that started was like a traveling clap from the back that creeped closer and closer.
Half of it was guilt, and it just kind of flowed into.
Yeah, me
and then they even got tired with that. They were like, I don't care anymore. I'm just done.
What would you say the most different character you've ever played is?
In my career,
Yeah.
the one coming up probably in True Memoirs. Yeah,
Yeah.
I play an author, and that you know I get into some pretty big trouble. So, and we were shooting in the Dominican Republic, which was pretty crazy. Some of the areas we were in the jungle, right? We were there was some
serious jungle.
Yes. We were there holding on to each other, shaking, me and Leonard.
So that's how you got this job. He could handle you in the jungle. He can handle you in a studio.
That's
on
right.
Long
He can do
Island.
anything. So.
I go, if he can do it here and he can be funny here, he can be funny anywhere, and he was.
Gary, you've taken part in some movies that Kevin has made before. You're on this show. You were on King of Queens a little bit. What's it like having your brother as the boss?
I don't look at it that way, Rick.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to talk about that too, actually.
Sure
Exact answer
sure
I
thing,
would
boss.
expect from a man with a Fu Manchu. Go ahead.
By the way, I made him do that, which I'm happy he did. He's a
That's what I meant by
firefighter
the
in
boss.
this one.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm like, I am his little puppet, though. In every movie, I can't have my own hair, which I have perfect hair.
Yeah.
Let's fix it. This is it right here. Anyway, yeah, you know, we shave it up, and I like doing the charactery stuff. You know, it's fun. It really is. I mean, I wouldn't do it if I didn't want to, but yeah, it's great. It's really great to work together. We've done it our whole lives. You know, even as little kids, putting on little plays for our parents and our relatives and stuff. And then on the professional level, you know, doing stand-up comedy and improv and groups and that kind of thing. It's been a lot of fun. So this is just an extension of that. It doesn't feel any different, you know, other than cameras are in our face.
Yeah, when you do a show, you
Boss, I wasn't done.
when you do a show, you want to be, especially a comedy, you want to be as comfortable as possible with everybody around you, because you want to be able to try new things and not be judged so much on it that you feel like I'll never throw things out. So when you get a comfort level and you know that other people will pick you up and things, it's a nice environment to do this stuff, and that's where you usually find your best comedy.
Yeah, and on the other hand, I'm sorry.
No,
and on
no,
the other
please.
hand, the other side of that is sometimes we'll be in a scene, and since we know each other so well, you know, we'll just start to laugh at nothing, and everybody's looking at us going, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, absolutely.
And only, you know, we get it. So.
Yeah.
Only the two of you?
No. I've broken up with a couple people, but a lot with Gary because I can't look at him because I don't know.
Gave him a Fu Manchu.
Yeah, it's something about that, and we've been in the same bath. Once you're in a bath with a guy,
Bunk beds.
things things change.
Does it feel different for you guys on the set with the two of them being brothers? Do you notice a sort of different connection for them?
No, I think, I mean, right from the get-go, they made us feel like we were part of the family, which really helped. Because I'll be honest, I was really nervous going in. And from day one, they made us feel like part of the family.
What were you nervous about?
I was nervous about performing with Kevin, and I've been on TV here and there, but never had a role like this before. Something I've been dreaming about and working at. The next thing you know, there I am, working opposite Kevin, and it's been going good.
It's always hard to make an adjustment when you're a fan of somebody, and then all of a sudden you're working with that person.
Thank you, Lenny.
I don't want to. So when I first had to work with Gary, it was rough. No, you know, and then she's like, I don't want to seem like a fan, but I want to seem like I know what I'm doing. So,
yeah.
But you know, right away that's dissolved after like a first week,
Yes.
and it's been a pleasure.
Chris, what was it like when Kevin asked you to be a part of the show or started talking to you initially about doing it? He went and saw your comedy act, and then I imagine.
Yeah, I was performing on Long Island at a comedy club, and I wasn't expecting him to walk in, and he walked in with Rock Rubin, and I know both of them very well, and it was all blur. It was all. I was up there 10 minutes. It's all blur. But P.S. Like 3 months later, I get the phone call. I'm sitting at home, and like I was telling you guys before, my carpets are getting cleaned. It's noisy, and I was waiting for the phone call to come in, and I'm telling my wife I gotta get out of the house, and the guy cleaning the carpets blocks the front door and starts sprinkling stuff at my feet. You gotta see this product. I'm like, guy, get out of my way right now. the rest of my life is on the other side of you.
Kevin, there's a scene in the pilot. Your daughter is sort of in love with this guy who wants to build an app, and your character, kind of a blue-collar guy, doesn't really understand the future that this guy is proposing. And I'm kind of wondering, you play characters like this regularly. King of Queens character was kind of similar to this guy. What was it like for you and your brother when you told your family that you wanted to be actors or comics?
That didn't go over well because it was comics first. It was stand-ups. I remember coming because I went to school. Gary, you graduated. You graduated college. I didn't. I went to school for 3 years, upstate Cortland, New York, and I came home one summer and just said, I'm not going to do the college thing anymore. I want to be a comedian all of a sudden. And I was a guy who I would get hot on ideas and do just different things. I would get into landscaping. I'm going to open my own business here. I'm going to teach karate. I was a personal fitness instructor. I was like, all these things I would get excited about. And then Gary kind of found stand-up and improv comedy first. And once I saw that, I was like, now I want to do that too. So I was a little me too with it. But I was passionate about it. And that's once I took over and our parents saw that, I was really, because it was two comedians.
You were doing community theater at the time,
I
actually.
started to do that, but then we went into that, and then once our parents saw that we were serious about it, they were always supportive, so it was really fun.
So it wasn't a response like your character did to the app builder?
not that crazy, no, but it was, they were a lot more supportive, but I could see there was slight panic in them that, because a comedian at that time, just saying you want to be a comedian, that's a tough statement to your folks who just kind of shelled out a lot of money for college for you to get through, and then.
And if you're not part of the industry in any way, I mean, if some people grow up in it and their parents are like, okay, great, well, let me introduce you to some people.
That's it.
If a parent doesn't know how to do that, they're just like, what sort of alien world are you talking about? You're gonna die.
It was literally me coming up to them saying, I'm going to be a cowboy. I just want to be a cowboy.
You had that, though, because Mom actually signed me up for an open mic night. I came home from, I think I was working, and I came home, and I was living at home, and she goes, you're on Wednesday night at the Comedy Club. I said, to do what? She goes, 5 minutes of your act. I go, I don't have an act. She goes, oh, just do what you do, like whatever I was doing around the house.
Yeah, she kind of forced us, so.
Yeah. So.
You said that you wanted to do it, and she was like, okay, well, you're not just going to dick around. You're actually going to do this now.
Well, I guess she kind of believed in it and tried it, loved it, and then, yeah.
You said it's important for you to have the show on Long Island. How important is it for you to sort of represent the people of Long Island that you grew up with and that you knew? And is that something that you think about first when you sort of build a show like this?
I do. It comes into certainly a play a lot because when you're doing this, I know, I believe whatever comedy I have came from Long Island. They always say there's something in the water out here that makes funny people. But it's growing up. It's around the dinner table. It's just the attitude of people on Long Island. It makes me laugh, and I see it. And when I go away from it, I lose the accent, and then I come back, and I'm like, hey, let's get some beers. It just fits right back in, and you just feel like you're doing it. But it is a way, and it's its own character in a way, and the authenticity of it in the show, in getting comedians and actors that are from New York and really putting them in the show and going to these places where we're going, and the crew. The biggest challenge was the crew. They've never done episodic TV out here before. It's not like in Los Angeles where, if we did the show there, it would be great, but you're like every other show there. Here, it's an event. I mean, these people have been talking about it. As soon as we said we're definitely doing it here at Gold Coast Studios, they've been going nuts.
Putting people to work.
That, too. That's a great thing, which is fantastic to be able to give, people jobs for as long as we go, God willing, for a while. But, yes, I mean, there was an excitement. There was a buzz on Long Island, which, I don't think we would have gotten in L.A., so all this into it is just building, and it's fun to walk into a deli now and have people, so excited about the show. They already know about it, and they're coming out. They're getting tickets and coming to the show, and it's a different energy when we shoot the show. I mean, these people are just really excited to see it.
Sort of harder to get sort of bogged down or cynical about the process as you move through a potentially 9-year. If it goes as long as King of Queens, you're talking 9 years where every day you're doing Monday through Friday at this studio. Right. You have a bit of a different energy, as you said.
Absolutely. And you want to set it up the way you feel comfortable, like I said, with people and family and friends and everybody around you, as much as you can bring in. And we're learning. We're going through it. Again, these people don't know. A lot of people, we haven't had situation comedy on Long Island, so you're getting people who know. Like in L.A., if you break a piece on a camera, there's 50 other places you can go right there, get that piece right away. There's no camera store here that has these the stuff that we know. So they're like, we don't know what to do, man. We don't have anything, And it's the same thing with the people who run the cameras, the switcher who switches the scenes to show what scene what the audience is looking at. All these roles are so important, and you need to do that. And we're kind of working through that now and teaching people. Hopefully, we can build it up more so other shows can come out, work at that studio, and bring even more people, give more jobs on Long Island.
The toughest thing is when a camera guy shoots a scene, then he comes out and he asks you for your autograph. That's a little odd,
Yeah,
They're not used to it. They're not used to it.
The title of the show, Kevin Can Wait. The
Yes.
pun. Who's responsible for the pun?
I think it was Bruce Helford who came up with that, who was one of the creators with us. I don't know, obviously the Kevin, Heaven Can Wait kind of thing, and I was worried about it. I was like, oh, they're just going to say Kevin gains weight if I get fat, and just, I go, you're setting yourself up, man. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. But we couldn't find a better title, and he wanted to call it the Kevin James Show. I go, I'm never calling it the Kevin James Show. And then I play a different character in there, and they fought me on this for a while. But so this seemed like the best one. Time ran out, and we were like, we'll go with this one, and that was really it.
The pilot of the show is fantastic. So often, I think when it comes to pilots for the creators of the show, it's a difficult process because there's so much that you have to set up. And then, most comedy shows, sitcoms and single camera comedies, you notice are the best in the second and third season.
Right.
They've sort of laid all the ground, and now they can just have a really great time. Do you feel like getting over the pilot was kind of a hurdle, and now you can start doing a lot more?
That's such a smart question because it's so true that you have to say anytime someone walks in the room, I got to go, hey, there's my brother, Kyle on the, and my good friend who I retired with 20 years on the force. You have to kind of set the story for everybody. You really don't. I fight with the studio and the network on this all the time that I don't believe you have to. People will pick up. You can watch a sitcom. I know you can watch, even if you don't know exactly what the role is. It doesn't matter. If it's necessary for the joke, then yes. But if it's not for that specific joke, you can get away and you pick these things up. And an audience is a lot smarter than you think.
There's a reason it's episodic and goes into syndication. No one who's watching episode 5 of season 4 has seen the pilot.
That's exactly it. So it's hard to convince them that. So in the beginning, in the first few episodes, you really have to keep explaining things. And it's a little clunky in doing that. But I think we found a great way to do it in the pilot and where it wasn't so awkward and it kind of fit in naturally. And yes, as you said, as the more and more you go, then you don't have to set things up. People know these characters, and you just come in, hit them with a joke, and then that's it. So it's leaner.
Absolutely. Let's open it up to the audience for Q&A. Does anyone have any questions? You, sir, have a question. You stood fast. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey guys. So my question is, were there any outside influences that you had when you were going through the process of creating this show, like something that you pointed at and said, I want the show to be like something like that?
Yeah, I love the smaller things in life. I just want to take small little things that happen with my family. I take with my kids. If I see something small, I want to put, he was 4 at the time. My little son was wrestling with me on my chest. He was sitting there, and he looked at me, and we stopped wrestling, and he sneezed right in my mouth, and I threw up on him immediately. Right away. And that was funny on its own. It just happened. But the funny thing to me was my wife got mad at me for throwing up on him. She was saying, she said, why would you do that? She said, what she did. She goes, why would you do that? It's your own flesh, but why would you throw up on your son? Like I had a choice. Like I meant to do that. So these little things I like to put into the show and be like, that's crazy that you would think I meant to. Why would I do it? It was
Because he spit on me, that's why.
Exactly. He threw up, exactly. Spit. The mucus that was in him was now in me.
Wasn't there a stand-up special called Sweating the Small Stuff or Don't
Sweat the Small Stuff? Yeah. I did that when I was like 2001, so it was a long time ago. But there were bits and stuff that we did in the King of Queens and all that stuff. I had at the end of the King of Queens, I started having a family, so now I have all this material. I'm just ready to get out there with kids and stuff too. So
next question.
Hi, my question is for Kevin. Is the show going to have cameo appearances by some of your other co-stars from previous works, or if not in season 2? Could we expect that?
I hope so. Yeah, and it's always that fine balance of not trying to make it just a show where you're going, hey, look who I got this guy. You want to kind of bring them in an organic, in a funny way, most importantly, a funny way. But yeah, I hope to be making a few phone calls to get some people in.
Next question.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
This question is for you.
Oh.
How was it like to play in Pixels?
What was it like to play in Pixels? Yes, I was the president of the United States. Yeah. So it was pretty neat. Everybody, my kids laughed at me for that one. It was a fun one. We shot it up in Toronto, in Canada, and it's always great working with Adam Sandler. But that was a big, fun movie that I had a real fun time on that. So
Can we get security? This is about Kevin Can Wait. It's not about Pixels.
I wanted that.
Thank you.
I wanted that joke so bad.
that was a great question. Good question.
Great.
It was fun.
Absolutely adorable. Guys, I think we're out of time. Kevin Can Wait tonight, CBS, 8:30 p.m. Congratulations
Thanks,
on what's gonna be
guys.
another
Thank
hit
you, Rick,
show.
so much.
Guys, thank you so
guys.
much for being here.
Thank you very much.